What's up, guys? Kyokai1994 here today to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball, from Ball to Z and everything in between. And today, furthering the trend of Dragon Ball side stories on my channel, I want to talk to you guys about a mechanical duo who in one timeline murdered an entire population and in another decided to learn how to love. To help me dive in and hash out these ideas in today's video, I will be introducing back to the channel a very, very special guest. The man who decides the fate and the winner of some of the greatest battles that we've ever seen in Dragon Ball history, and the 8th member of BTS, MJ from MjxTv. How you doing today, man?
I am doing great, bro. That was a wonderful intro. I think you're one of the first people to actually say my name right. Most people go MjxTV. Some other people just call me fucking Geek Lister and stuff like that. So thank you for that intro. I appreciate it. Let's talk about the cyborgs.
That's cool. So you hear a little bit from MJ, so that's the little bit of, the foreshadowing. But I do want to let you guys know that if you haven't subscribed to MJ yet, I'm going to leave the link in the description below so that you can get over to his channel and hit his sub button as well. He is a great guy. Very great friend to me as well, and he is daily giving you quality Dragon Ball content and super theories throughout his sicknesses, throughout his face cam mess ups, throughout everything. This man is bringing content all the time. Bro, I have to sometimes, you know what I mean? It's cool. But like what he said about the cyborgs, today we're planning on talking about the most artificial of all of the humans, the Genzo Ningans themselves, Android 17 and 18, and some of the side stories that me and MJ have been talking about. And there are definitely some that I would pay some good money to see, to definitely read and see. So I guess we're gonna, start this video off. And there's a major thing that we've seen, especially from Dragon Ball Super, because they actually did a whole 2-episode run on it. And it's something that a lot of fans have really wanted to see over the years. We didn't see anything from 17 throughout the Buu arc or anything. Ever since he left, we get one clip, I think, of him throughout everything. But that's him as a ranger. I mean, he started his own life. He has children, a wife. He has a family now. He like I said in the intro, kind of as a joke, learning how to love. But in this timeline, both him and 18 start families, and it's lovely to see something like that. But what I want to see is basically like an action manga of Android 17, I guess, experiencing his first thoughts of wanting to be a park ranger, or the way he got into it, plus the adventures of him being a park ranger. And personally, I don't want to see aliens come back and attack all the animals again.
I completely agree with that. That's actually kind of cool. I would love to see something like that. And yeah, no more aliens. I hated that episode of Super, bro. I really did hate that episode. So it would be cool just to see him kind of go up against the humans, themselves, and him protecting all the wildlife on the island. I think that would be kind of cool,
I mean, I really don't feel that he'd be killing them, so it doesn't, like, you don't have to make them aliens, like, for them to, outwit him. I mean, he's strong and everything, but he can't be everywhere at once. So, I mean, you could see, like, a group or a team of poachers, like several teams that like choreograph this insane, like Ocean's 11 heist to try to like get him to go into one section of the area and then like get another rhino from another area. And then when he goes to like investigate that, you know what I mean? He doesn't have instant transmission. He's not Goku. He's super fast, but he doesn't have instant transmission. So that's something that I'd really like to see. I'd also like to see them dive more into 17, and that's mainly with all of these side stories. The connection that I have had is that I want to see more of them. I want to see more of their background, how they grew up. I mean, I don't need to see the way they showed Goku grow up. Like, I don't need to see all the pages of this man's life from, 12 to him being like 85 years old. I don't need to see that, but to see a little slice of life volumes or chapters just to get a little bit more in depth onto the characters is something that really excites me personally. And I mean, dude, the History of Trunks special is fantastic, and if they happen to decide to do something like that to where they explore like that timelines 18 and 17, that would be very interesting, because we have large gaps of time where Trunks is in, our timeline, and then he goes back to his, that they don't show. And I mean, they could just keep ravaging the whole world and taking out people. I mean, they like riding roller coasters and blowing up the tower, so it's not that bad. But there's a couple different ideas that I guess I've been kind of shooting around in my head. I also want to see some Android 18 stuff. I would like to see some of, like, her time in between, like, right after the wish was made for the bomb to be out of her, and then her to, like, you know, actually accept to be with Krillin. Because there's got to be some kind of mind shift in there. Because she said, what, you think just because you made a wish that I'm gonna, like, be with you? Like, he kind of did that stalkery thing. And I know that everybody loves Android 18, so I don't know if you have any ideas on how an Android 18 story can go.
No, I don't like her, so I'm just kidding. No, I mean, obviously, just what you said, you know, get to see her interaction with Krillin, how they actually became a couple, so on and so forth. Maybe see what leads to Marin being born. No, I'm just kidding. No, they won't show that. But just over,
just one whole chapter of that, like, and that chapter has to be sold separately without the whole book because it's got to be on its own little rack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to say because, to be honest, I mean, 18 was never really my favorite of the duo. I mean, she had a cool moment here and there, but I never really liked her, to be honest. What else can we really say? Just her adventures, like, on the night in the town, her just going to bars or her just chilling. I mean, what up until Krillin shows up, I mean, what can we really say? Like, with 17, this dude's on the island. This dude is out facing the wilderness. This guy has, like, adopted kids. He has this and that. You can do so much stuff off of him, whereas 18, it's just, we know she just has to change her heart for a little ball midget at one point, and that's it. Like, the only thing we can really say is what caused that change of heart. But after that, she sort of becomes the word isn't a housewife, but
infatuated with him.
Yeah, it's what is there to say about her? You know, what was she do in her daily lives? Like, do we really want to see her wash dishes and maybe teach Marin, like, martial arts? It's like, you know, 17 has the more, I guess, crazy and life that I would want to see, opposed to 18. No offense to her or her fans. It's just, I really don't know what to say, you know, other than, of course, the change of heart from her not liking Krillin to actually liking him, you know? No,
yeah, I definitely understand that. So, since you favor the 17 in the duo, is there another story other than being a ranger? I'm assuming you would like to see some time period before the ranger and what he was doing then, because I don't think that he changed his heart as quickly as she did, personally. I feel like he probably still maybe committed some crime. I wouldn't say crime, but they called it fun. He was saying he was having fun. So I wondered if he ever went on joyrides in cars again and, you know, blew up a couple towns or something. Because even though Goku and all of our gang didn't go fight him again, doesn't mean that he wasn't on the other side of the world blowing something up, because they can't be everywhere at once.
And plus, they can't sense his ki either. But
completely true.
I don't know exactly. Is it ever stated exactly what period of time he becomes a ranger?
No, not that I personally know, and that's also another reason why I really wanted to use that as one of the side stories, is because there are all of these time gaps that they have in Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z, well, I guess not Super as much, but there are these time gaps that they don't explain anything that happens. Characters are just gone, or characters aren't there, or characters appear again. So, no, I do not personally believe that they ever say when he became the Ranger.
We know in the Boo arc, he's holding up people. A lot of people have always summed it up that maybe he was capturing Rangers or capturing, like, thieves, but I don't think he's wearing the Ranger band or anything like that, so it's hard to say if he was just robbing dudes or if he was actually saving the island. It's really hard to say. All we know is that they show a split second of him raising his hand, you know, to give energy, right?
Yeah, give energy for the Genki Dama, exactly, and then they replaced it in the show with Launch, I believe.
It's
hard. Can't forget about Lunch.
She was gone through all of ZT, right? Where the fuck was she? But anyways, I mean, it would be cool to see his interactions and what he was doing and his reaction to what was going on Earth with Super Boo, because if everyone remembers, Super Boo pretty much wipes out almost the entire planet with one move. So it would be cool to see 17's reaction, and as he walked, I guess, through an empty wasteland while, you know, Boo fought, you know, Gohan, and then of course Vegito, and then Kid Boo. You know, it would be cool to see what he was doing throughout that, kind of like what Mr. Satan did, where he was walking around with, you know, the dog. So it would be cool.
And he went and gotten the beer and everything from the saloon.
I think the anime added more to that, obviously, but I think it would be cool to see 17's kind of reaction to that, because I mean, if fucking Tien could dodge those blasts, if Tien and Chaozu could dodge, I'm sure 17 could as well. You know, he's just gonna be chilling, seeing these purple blasts trying to hit him come out of nowhere, you know. So it's like, it would be cool to see that, his reaction to, let's say he is a ranger by this point in time, let's say he's actually a ranger at this current point in time, he's on the island, let's say he's doing his thing, he created like a little fire, right? He's watching over the animals. It would be cool to see 17's current state of mind there, because one thing we noticed in Super was when he was provoked with the idea that, hey, you should compete because the universe is going to get erased. He's like, well, if it happens, it happens. We'll all die together.
He doesn't even care. Like, what about your kids? What about your wife?
Yeah,
we're all getting erased anyway. Like, damn,
So imagine this. Imagine, yeah, I know you guys, I think you know, but some people may know when I go, let's paint a picture, right, on Mark's channel.
We need to paint a picture.
Let's paint a picture of 17 doing his daily work, right, and he's dodging those blasts. Maybe he saved a couple of animals by putting his barrier up and stopped those blasts, so maybe he's doing that, right? Well, when Kid Buu emerges, one of the first things Kid Buu does is destroy the Earth. So it'll be cool to see the planet just like blowing up, and then 17 is just kind of like there with his animals, and he maybe has like a bird or a parrot like on his shoulder or something, and then he's just looking at the ground while the ground's like, you know, turning like pink and orange, about to blow up, and that's it. I think that would be like a cool little thing to see, like, would he care? What's his current state of mind? I think the whole point here is that I would love to see like a filler episode or like a little few chapters of a manga where we just see 17's reaction throughout those 2 days, you know, when Boo attacked the Earth. I think that'd be kind of cool.
No, yeah, I completely agree, because another thing, going back to that Zero Ningen's plan that Boo tried to, you know, do about just blowing everybody to hell, I'm assuming he did that off sense of ki, because he walks around the whole tower once. I mean, he looks over.
That's true.
But even Kami, like, they don't see the ground. It's them still sensing everything. So since he can't sense 17, maybe he never, you know, actually hit 17 with those blasts. Maybe he didn't even have to dodge it because he didn't know that there was any, like, mortal, because I don't think he went for animals. He only killed all of the humans because that's what Piccolo told him to do, and that's what it comes down to the end of the day. It's Piccolo's fault why everybody died. But and then hold on, a side note on this, I can't believe Chaozu and Tien were able to actually dodge all those. Like, not both of them. Like, that's pretty crazy. They specifically did not hit Mr. Satan for the fact of, you know, he's in love with Mr. Satan, but that's neither here or there, I guess. But so the thing that I really want to see, and the major turning point that I wanted to see with them themselves, is I want to see back in the day. I want to see when Gero was, you know, RR, you know, funded, and like trying to like manipulate all of these machines and humans into machines. And I want to see when they were not called Android 17 or 18 and not called the Jinzo Ningens, when they were called Lapis and Lazuli respectively. I want to see how they were turned into these androids. Maybe not every single step, because, you know, we don't need a bunch of mad scientists trying to make androids all of a sudden because of this guidebook that's some random, you know, because we don't know if it's going to be Toriyama or if it's going to be Toritaru or like Dr.Gero Lee or anybody. We don't need a instruction guide on how to make the end of the world happen, but it'd be very interesting to see where they come from, because they don't say if they were like bodies from the morgue that this fool just like stole from the hospital or anything like that. That we just know that he has this brother and sister, and he experimented on a everlasting power source. That's all we know from their backstory, really. I mean, they do such a great backstory into diving into Trunks and this terrible future that he has, but they don't talk about the actual history of the people who caused that terrible like history for him. So I personally want to see how Dr. Gero can create his machines. But I think that would be a fantastic manga chapter.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. It would be like going back to the old days, like you talked about earlier in this video with like Kid Goku. It'd be cool to see them like one page covers them as like kids, second page covers them like in school or whatever, third page covers them when they get ambushed and kidnapped, and then just kind of like the rundown and the history of 17 and 18. And why not? Because in this current arc, 17 and 18 are actually prominent, especially 17. So it would be cool to see something like that come out for them,
I mean, they have all of these powers that they've also been showing off in Super that they've never shown in any other parts of the series, and it's like, well, why didn't they do that during their fight with Goku and Vegeta? Like, why did they just break Vegeta's arm like a bunch of assholes? Like, they don't talk about, like, why they know how to fight. I'm assuming it's from programming, honestly, for that. But, like, we also don't know if... I mean, I would assume that he slowly, piece by piece, changed them into androids or cyborgs or whatever actual correct term you want to use. I believe cyborgs would be the real correct term. Artificial humans is a good one, but I have a feeling that he probably started with the brain and made it a computer, but I would assume personally that they still, from other things that we've seen in the series, since they have the capability to have children, I would assume that they have lungs. I would also assume that they have a stomach or something of that nature. I want to say I've seen Android 18 eat, and I don't think that she just, has a garbage disposal in her stomach that just blends it all up or anything. So just learning more about them and learning like what they can do and why they function the way they function. And then I guess the main thing that I want to see is I want to see the first time they didn't listen, because Dr.Gero tells you, hey, this is a lot like last time. This is why I have this kill switch now. And, oh, can I see that real quick? Snap. Let me break this shit so you can't turn me off again. Like, I want to see, like, why they act the way they do. I mean, I'm assuming he, like, poked and prodded them and tortured them, so I could see some resentment of them not calling him father or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, because that, I mean, man, it could be like some Deadpool situation, where they just, like, lock him in a chamber and, like, just breathe until you're a mutant. Have fun with that. So, I mean, it could be something along the lines with that.
Yeah, it could be anything, but I mean, overall, he was a psycho, so I can definitely see why.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we also... There's another video that I've wanted to do before, and I may still do it, but we also don't know what would have happened if he could have used this for good instead of evil. I mean, he still had the, the whole, like, grudge against Goku killing everybody else in the Red Ribbon Army and, taking out his funding so that he can actually be a scientist and everything. I mean, he stole his job pretty much, and I can understand some resentment of that, but it still seemed like he was trying to fulfill Commander Red's order of taking out Goku. Like, what if he decided not to take out Goku and then he used these, use these androids for good? Now, that's not really a side story I want to see, but it just changes everything. That, like, if he didn't have this grudge, none of this would matter. And I would love to see that breakdown. It doesn't have to be as far back in Dragon Ball, but, like, just for him to be like, okay, this is why I need to continue this mission. This is what I need to do. And it doesn't even have to be as long as Jocko. Like, it could just be a small one volume book of just, like, 4 or 5 chapters of, like, why Dr. Gero believes the way he does, his manifesto, I guess, and then him doing all of his experiments. Because, I mean, we have a bunch of androids. I mean, they have movie androids, too, that they could use if they really wanted to, and they could just tie it all together, because that's what the Reborn as Yamcha one did recently. Spoiler alerts for anybody, but they tied in Dragon Ball Z, Real Life, Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Super, and it was nice because it's like they take these things that aren't connected, like, they break the fourth wall is what I'm trying to say. They're not connected inside the show. They finally broke the fourth wall to connect these items, and that's something that I personally really enjoy seeing. And I think that's kind of where I'm going to trail off with this one. There's not a billion ideas that I can really think of for the androids other than these couple that I want to really, truly see and would actually pay a good amount of money for. But I do want you guys to hit the link down in the description below and check out MJ's channel. Like I said, puts out daily content, works real hard. You know, he's got a new mic stand that he's super proud of. But yeah, so let him put that mic stand to use and let him fill you with correct and good, you know, Dragon Ball knowledge. So I want you guys to like the video if you enjoyed it, and I also want you guys to tell me down in the comments below any more side stories you would like to see from the androids themselves, or any side stories, period. That's what the comment section is for. You comment down there, I comment back, and MJ might even comment back to you if he really feels like it. And I want you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so that you guys can stay tuned and see more things from me in the future. Most likely a lot of these side stories. I'm also doing Dokkan videos on the side, and a billion other projects whenever they start putting out more and more Dragon Ball stuff, because that's what we do on this channel. We talk about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball. So I want you guys to enjoy your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.